Sunday mass to be inspired.
We gather here, our faith like fire.
Together we're strong in our desire. We light up the night in a blazing world. And Sunday mass, we don't need no Messiah. Let's come to bash
Welcome to Sunday Mass. It is Sunday, March 15th. In nomine Patri, et Filii, Spiritus Sancti. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're having a great weekend and things are going your way. I hope your pre-spring is filled with lots of fun, joy, excitement, and all the things we have to look forward to. But as always on Sunday Mass, which is cheeky, of course. No real Mass here, but I know I mentioned it a couple of shows ago about what's going on in the world right now, especially with war, and not only the Ukraine, but obviously in the Middle East, and the forgotten victims of war. So I'm not talking about the soldiers, not the generals, not the politicians, not even civilians, because we talk about them quite a bit. We don't talk about the animals, because every war ever fought has forgotten about them for the most part. Right now, the world watches the unfolding tragedy in the Middle East, and we're diverted from other important topics of the world, whether or not you just think it's a diversion tactic or you don't. I personally do. I don't see why we're there at all, but that's my political ethos. I think it's a waste of time, resources, money, and most of all, lives. You know, we can blame strategy, retaliation, borders, politics, and all that crap, but there's millions of living creatures caught in the same destruction who have no understanding of any of it. And they are, of course, the dogs, the cats, the donkeys, the horses, livestock, birds, and wild animals of every kind. Creatures who wake up one morning and suddenly the sky is exploding. Just remember when we were cave people, you know, we had to understand why those lights were twinkling in the sky, or all of a sudden why water started falling and flooding our valleys and our caves. They don't know how to parse that information. It doesn't make any sense at all. Their homes collapse, their people disappear, they're left wandering through rubble, trying to understand a world that no longer makes any sense. Animals have always been a part of our wars, strategically and in comfort situations. In World War I alone, historians estimate over 16 million animals were used in the war effort, you know, before we relied on heavy machinery. Horses and mules hauled artillery. Dogs carried messages across battlefields. Carrier pigeons delivered communications that saved entire units. One pigeon is a very famous one named Cher Ami, was shot through the chest and blinded in one eye while delivering a message that saved over 200 American soldiers that were trapped behind enemy lines. Animals have also been used in darker ways. Explosive dogs, military dolphins, detecting mines, even experimental programs using bats to carry incendiary devices across the playing fields in the theaters of World War II, which raises a question. For thousands of years, we have found ways to use animals in our wars, but when our wars destroy their world, we rarely think about saving them. They're the silent casualty. In modern wars, the scale of animal suffering is staggering. When bombs fall on cities, pets are abandoned when families flee. Now, I don't know if anybody's Googled it or seen it. It's come up on their news feed, but Dubai, this luxury oasis where everybody flies Emirates and it's all about first class and 7-star hotels. The stories coming out about these people who inhabit these luxury worlds have left their animals, their pets, their family members alone in these high-rise luxury units. I mean, how despicable is that? You know, these families flee, they get in their car, they get on their Emirates flight or their Qatar flight, or they're in the apartment or the studio to get the hell out of Dodge, you know? But in the meantime, farms collapse, wildlife habitats vanish overnight, zoos, of course, they're destroyed. During the war in the Ukraine, I shouldn't say the Ukraine, of course. Rescuers organized estimated hundreds of thousands of pets were left behind in bombed cities. Volunteers risk their lives to enter combat zones just to feed the dogs and the cats. Soldiers adopted stray animals living in trenches. Images have circulated all over the world of kittens sleeping inside soldiers' helmets and puppies riding in armored vehicles. They're small reminders that compassion does exist, especially when everything else is falling apart. The same reality now exists in the Middle East. Forget about Gaza because it's pretty much gone. Veterinary groups working all over the region have reported that animal hospitals have been bombed and destroyed. Farm animals are dying from a lack of water. Pets wandering bombed neighborhoods looking for their families because that's what they do. Bird populations have been displaced by constant explosions. Yet if you watch the news, you almost never see it. It's very rare. Why don't we talk about them? There's a reason animals disappear from the conversation during war. War forces human beings into very narrow frames of thinking. We start dividing the world into sides, us, them, victory, defeat. Animals don't really belong to any side. You know, it might be a cat in Gaza or a dog in Ukraine or a donkey in a village somewhere in the middle of Iran, a bird flying over a battlefield, God knows where. They have no ideologies. They don't have religion. They don't have politics. Those are all things we made up. And no idea why their world is suddenly collapsing. It's just a catastrophe, like a comet hitting the earth. And that makes them the most uncomfortable witnesses because when we look at them, we see something different and it's impossible to explain. We have no way to explain it to them. They are suffering the consequences of war without any participation or any reason for it. Diversions. Now, let's just take a small diversion here. Human beings have always believed that war is sometimes necessary. History certainly suggests that, but animals reveal something about war that we don't often admit. War is not just strategy and ideology, it's also just chaos. Burned forests, collapsed buildings, terrified creatures, all hiding in dark places. And sometimes we look at the animals wandering through the wreckage of our conflicts in time and life and whatever news periodical you might read. We see uncomfortable things and we look away for a minute. We see innocence caught inside human decisions. Not political, not strategic, but it's moral. We have a moral obligation to the creatures of this earth. Yet there's something hopeful in this story too, because even in the worst wars, people still stop to help animals. Soldiers share rations with dogs. Rescue groups come across front lines to evacuate pets. Veterinarians perform surgeries in buildings with zero electricity. In Ukraine, entire volunteer networks formed to move animals out of the combat zones. In Sarajevo in the 90s, citizens risked sniper fire, which was rampant, just to keep zoo animals alive. In the middle of war, when survival itself is uncertain, people still do choose compassion, like we do here at Bashers. So why talk about animals when human suffering is already so overwhelming? Because animals remind us of something essential. The world does not belong just to us. It belongs to all living creatures, all of us. And when we wage war, we're not just destroying cities or armies, we're destroying entire webs of life that had nothing to do with our petty conflicts. Animals are not combatants, they are witnesses. And perhaps the way we treat them, even in the darkest moments, says something about the kind of civilization we actually are. So when wars end and the cameras do leave and the politicians go about their merry way, and hopefully some of them will be strung up in a piazza in Milan, just like other people, historians will start writing their books, but the animals will remain. The dogs waiting outside homes that no longer exist, the birds returning to landscapes that are permanently changed forever, silent witnesses to everything humanity has done to them. And they leave us with a question worth thinking about. If compassion disappears during war, what exactly are we fighting to protect? And that's my little 2 cents for the day. So let's, on a nicer note, let's get into some comments and see who's there. Panel Power, attenti a Lady di Marzo. How are you, Panel Power? Indeed. And look at it, too brute. Steve Zaleski. Hey, Panel Power, you're on fire, man. Steve Zaleski. Happy Sunday, everyone. Have a great show, Dirk. And all the bashers, well done. I'm having a nice coffee today. I'm having a Lavazza today because I just was in the mood for a punch in the face. I don't have any Kimbo in the house. Kimbo is the ultimate face punch. But that's pretty good. It's their forte. It's not bad. It's actually, believe it or not, I think the Lavazza is better than the Ely Forte. The Ely Forte is a little mean, a little bit mean. Have a great show, Dirk and all the Bashers. Well done, panel power. Coming back for you. Andrew Wogowich, Canadian, $5. Congratulations, panel power. Have a wonderful Sunday and be safe, everyone. Glad. Give a like if you can. You have no idea. I'm not wearing a watch. I'm not wearing a watch. I'm not wearing a watch. I'm going to put on the First Omega in space because I have to go. This is going to be a tight show. It's going to be an hour show because my nephew is throwing a shindig at his house for the March birthdays, our family birthdays. So manual wind, which means, look at that, man. It's on. Wow, I wound this a couple of days ago. Hoo, 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 and it's still going. Yeah, baby. Yeah, so we're going to celebrate the March birthdays at my nephew's house. So my sister's going to come fetch me, and then we're going to go. And it's about 30 minutes away, not even on a good day. Here. Oh, yeah. Ready for this? You love this, right? It's a great sound. It sounds like crickets. It's crickety. It's a great sounding wine. I know. I'm going to get to the bottom of the Milgauss's rough sounding wine and find out if it needs a service. I'm just not in a position to go do that. Because, you know, that can be not so fun. Andrew, we'll start out with the Andrew Olcoach commemorative gong. Bang. Thank you, buddy boy. Mr. Landon, Kevin Landon, upvoted number 3 today for Sunday Bass. Thank you, kind sir. Best wishes to Dirk and all the Bashers. Thanks, Kevin. You're one of the most wonderful people. Feeling grateful for being able to see the Friday shows for free. Well, it is under memberships now. I let it slide for a while because I have to be able to offer something. And listen, the Friday show can get controversial, and people who watch the kinder, gentler, daily shows where I'm more present about the animals and just like let's pay it forward. We get into politics and religion and that whole horrible thing that happened with the Israeli settlers in the West Bank and that kind of horrors and, that kind of conversation. Some people are just not for it. I get emails all the time from people saying that, listen, man, Friday's too much for me. And it is. And then I have people who say they only like Friday's show. And that's fine too. I know a lot of people watch this show after the fact because you can't always catch it live. Now, generally, I used to do Sunday Mass at 105. Then I kind of switched it to 205. I'm trying to find the balance for Sunday Mass, which works for you. Because remember, Sunday Mass was your request. I didn't originally do a Sunday Mass show, but I'm so glad that we do it. So glad. Thank you, Kevin Landon. In the brightest day, the darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. For those who worship the evil's might, beware the power of the Green Lantern's light. Now, I'm pretty good at picking out a lyric. I have no idea what that's from. Is it from the Green Lantern comic? Because I don't know. But it sounds good. I could probably write a melody of that. Hiding in Honduras, I'm a desperate man sending lawyers, guns, and money, and the shit has hit the fan. What is this from, Kevin Landon? You stumped me. You stumped the Dirk. Can't do it. Look for your moment and make an honest stand. What is that from? It's very, very poignant. Very poignant indeed. The beautiful Melly C, the purple one. Happy Sunday, Father Dirk, and all the Bashers. Well done, panel power. Well done, panel power. Thank you, beautiful Melly C, and all the ladies of the Bash. Mr. Brooker, good afternoon, all. Mother's Day here. Oh, is it Mother's Day in the UK? So here helping Hannah cook dinner for her mom. How valiant of you. So have a great show, and I'll catch the replay later tonight. Happy bashing and upvoted. Thank you, Nick Brooker. Now I've got the proper First Omega space on, so there you go. Now it's a proper one. Julian is back, so I can practice my Orson Welles. Grateful for that. And Christine, he wrote me, and by the way, for those of you who did the Friday show, listen, it's a 3-hour show. Wine is there. Opinions are, Oisin and I got into a thing of, which I think about it now, and I just think about it was like a stupid conversation. He loves Yusuf Karsh. Who doesn't? One of the greatest portrait photographers in the whole wide world. And I was like, because he was like, he's the greatest. And I'm like, no, George Horrell is the greatest. Then I, in the morning light was thinking, well, they're completely different animals, both of them from the same exact era, born the same year. But it was Julian who wrote me an email and told me about this, he's got cameras he likes to shoot stuff. Obviously, he knows a lot about film and cameras and all that stuff. And Lydia, she's certified Araflex. Paul's dad was, worked for the Museum of Natural History, so it was in the photography department. So I've been around it a long time, but I did not know, and we did not know, I should say, collectively, exactly what kind of equipment they used, about their large format. I was assuming Hasselblad, but I was wrong. So it was very interesting. Julian sent me a detailed email about their equipment and the fact that he met Yusef Karsh and like had a conversation with him. Wow. And I'll be honest with you, after yesterday, when I had a moment, yesterday was a very effed up day. I had to bring Bulbul back to the vet because they were supposed to come and take the drain out. They said, "Oh no, we can't come there. You got to bring him back." I had to put him in another thing, and she doesn't want to move. And then what had happened was I noticed that Bubba was enjoying sleeping in the litter box. Well, I had to switch to this dried up newspaper stuff because all the litter was getting in the wound. So that had to be re-irrigated. So yesterday was effed up day. So the point was I was just carshing the whole day looking at all the great, and that Churchill one, it's one of the greatest photographs I've ever seen. So, think that conversation would have been a little bit better with a little less wine, maybe, would have been more, objective, certainly on my part. There is a brief moment when all there is a man's mind, and soul and spirit is reflected through his eyes, his hands, his attitude. This is the moment to record. Very true. And the effort implied by desire must also have an automatic or subconscious energy to aid in its realization. Where do you get these, my friend? What I am seeking is a motionless movement, something equivalent to what is called the eloquence of silence. Wow, the eloquence of silence. That's a great album title. It certainly is. People are always so boring when they band together. You have to be alone to develop all the idiosyncrasies that make a person interesting. I find that's why I don't like parties. I always say I don't like parties, but when I go to parties, I generally have a good time because I'm very social. But I always go, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. But yeah, it's interesting. Julianisms. You can never predict what little things in the way somebody looks or talks or acts will set off a peculiar emotional reaction in other people. Yes. We're all built differently. We're all built on this, our brain and our neurons, and we react to words and phrases and gestures and mannerisms. That's why I always say, be very careful if you're making a very poignant email to somebody, or should I say pointed, because you cannot discern emotion or intent unless it is extraordinarily succinct in an email or a text message. People get very offended, and especially everybody gets offended today by everything. Everything is offensive. Rude. And that's unfortunate. But thank you and welcome back to Sunday Mass, because we need these so badly. Nick Brooker says, I'm not afraid of dying. Anytime will do. I don't mind. Why should I be frightened of dying? There's no reason for it. We've all got to go sometime. Oh shit. You guys are throwing lyrics at me that you're stumping the Sunday Mass Dirk, because I don't know what that is. I'm not afraid of dying. Anytime will do. I don't mind. Why I should be afraid. But then again, I find that you went down a different lane than I did musically. So interesting, though. Here's another big one from Julian. I suspect only creatures who were willingly obedient to the Sabbath command were the animals. Over and over in the biblical story, birds and beasts prove far more faithful to God than we do. Well, they certainly do, because they don't have a specific, thing like we invented. And I'm not a person who doesn't have faith. I do believe in a creator. And listen, I'm a buffet Catholic. I don't know if any of it's real, but I like what it's got to offer. I do. And I like the theater. I enjoyed. Hitesh is here. Congratulations, Steve. Happy Friday. All upvote. Hitesh. We miss you on the daily show. You're not here nearly enough. You wonderful, wonderful you. Thank you so much. Raphael is here. I suppose being a war baby, I should watch. Yeah, well, I'm talking about, you can make split second decisions knowing the information that you get. They cannot. They can only react by instinct. And that is shitty. Sunday roast, Sunday bash. Dino's making a Sunday roast. So it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in who celebrate in the country that it is. It's not today for us. I don't. My mom's gone, but I celebrate all the moms of the world and the beautiful ladies that make life possible. Thank you so much. What will we do without you? Kevin Landon says, "Cry havoc. Let's slip loose the dogs of war." Indeed, indeed. Renaissance. At every moment of our lives, we all have one foot in a fairy tale and the other days in the abyss. What is that? That amazing. Let me the Nietzsche. Hold on. The abyss. And they took it out of the movie. Quote. They took it away. If you gaze long into the abyss also gazes into you. And I don't know why. I guess because I love that movie. And when it came out, I saw it in the theater and the film broke. I told the story on Paul and I just met Paul. It was 89. And we went to a movie and we went to Glen Oaks, I think, movie theater. And we're watching the movie and it was really, really good. And the film broke. And they gave us vouchers to go see it again. I'm sure we did. But it became one of my favorite movies. It's certainly my favorite James Cameron film. Having not really paid attention to the Terminator thing because it's just not my thing. And of course, Titanic, is what it is. I love True Lies. I guess my two favorites are The Abyss and True Lies. Yeah. And I don't care about any of those Avatar movies at all. Just it looks like a video game. Not interested. It's Dances with Wolves in Space. But there was that Nietzsche quote, and it was removed when I got the Blu-ray, the new, finally they mastered it. 4K is bullshit. I mean, I could show you a million different varieties of how when they make these films, on certain instances, they're not. Like, for example, the Wizard of Oz film they got a safety of the film and for the 75th anniversary, and they scanned it at like 8,000 and then downgraded it to 4K. But unfortunately, a lot of the and the Abyss is true too, because James Cameron doesn't F around when it comes to that stuff. But most films that you get in 4K, Blu-ray, or whatever the hell they're in, they come from 2K masters. So they are actually upscaling them. So they're not really 4K. And at the end of the day, can we really see all that stuff? Not really. But when I got this new super edition, which they left the wiping in, they left the I don't have Italian, but there's a scene where they do this and they clean the lens in the middle of Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio's drowning scene, which is amazing. And the beginning of that film, they took the Nietzsche quote out, and now I'm trying to remember because I have the VHS of the director's cut. Maybe that was only in the director's cut. I don't know, but anyway. When you look deeply into the abyss, it also gazes back at you. Pretty amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Yeah. Robin's Bird is here. Ladies of the Bash. That is what I got to write that song. I definitely do. Hello, all Robin's Bird, the beautiful Robin's Bird. Hi, darling. How are you on this beautiful Sunday? Hope you're all well. Thank you so much. Hitesh, what day is it? He's in Canada. Dirk, question. Does your wardrobe consist of any clothes that are not black? I wear black on the show. No, that's not true. I wear gray and blue on this show. I do. Yeah, I'm a New Yorker. So I would say that the majority of New Yorkers wear a lot of black. I don't wear white because I'm a fair person. If I had a tan, I think people who have tan skin can wear white. I can't wear yellow. I think, people who have darker skin, Latinos, black people, the contrast of yellows or dark, deep greens looks incredible on their skin tones. I tend to wear the same colors. I wear brown, black, dark blue, navy blue if I get a little bit of color, baby blue in the summer if I get a little bit of color. But no, I don't have a lot. But on the show, I wear the same stuff. I wear the black. I wear the Bashers jersey. I wear my dark blue V-neck and my gray one. Yeah, I don't really wear. I'm not a colorful guy. Oof, that's a tough question. And okay, so you have to understand where I come from as a Rush fan. So I am old enough to have bought 2112 when it came out. I learned of Rush from my friend Joey Dawson. We were kids, 10. We were 10 years old, and we loved music. And we eventually started a band together. And so this is a tough one because I got to see Rush starting at Moving Pictures, Signals. I saw them on the Grace Under Pressure tour, which was an album that I did not care for at the time, nor did I care for Power Windows, nor Hold Your Fire. So I'm going to go on record and say Hold Your Fire is my least favorite Rush album because I think it's not their best album. I think it's probably the one that doesn't stand up very well throughout. Maybe it's the one that because Grace Under Pressure, when it came out, I was a little like, what? But I loved Signals, and that was a different album for them too. You know, they were going into like more reggae beats, more electronic stuff, more synthesizer. You know, we're talking about incomparable musicianship. These guys got bored with their own thing, so they just started to expand and move on. And I'm going to say Hold Your Fire because I have learned to absolutely adore Grace Under Pressure. I still think Power Windows is kind of a middling record. And I think most people think Hold Your Fire is the worst. And a lot of people don't like Test for Echo, which I love. And I also love, I came back as a big Rush fan on Presto because it had Available Light on it and a Show Don't Tell, The Pass. There's amazing stuff on that record. So yeah, what do you think? What's yours, Eric? Like to know, sorry I'm late. You were on the phone with Andy M, sending his love. Only good things. Let's get his banner up. Where is it? Only good things. Only good things. We love you, Andy M, and thank you, Melly C, and sending all our love to his parents. Because that's what matters most in this world, isn't it? That's what matters most. Aha. Oh, your Kimbo delivery arrived. Yes, Mazel. How great is that? So good. Eric B, I got tickets for the Rush tour. Yeah, he told me. He sent me a message saying he got it. I don't think I can afford to see Rush. I would love to go see them with Hanukkah, but the pricing in maybe I won't be here. Maybe I'll be in Europe. I don't know. For 2027. But the prices here, they're like 1,500. Listen, I wouldn't want that ticket for free. I just think it's obscene. It's grotesque. I think, concert tickets should be anywhere from $80 to $200 for the best seats. Anything more than that is just gouging, and it is unfair to the fans. Now, Rush did say they tried to do some things, but they didn't. So I'm a little angry at Ticketmaster and all the powers that be and the secondary. They just got a slap on the wrist in the Supreme Court because it's a Live Nation and Ticketmaster. They're all the same company. So it's a monopoly that should be broken up because it's not fair to the fans. So I would love to see them, but it looks unlikely. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see. I don't know. It's a hot show. They're playing like 4 or 5 nights at the Garden. Yeah. I don't remember the Friday show live normally rewatch it. Yeah, okay. You do. I know that. Yes, not a song. Warren Zevon, Send Lawyers, Guns, and Money, right? Warren Zevon, the guy that I never really truly explored. I know that he has a lot of fans and people love Warren Zevon. I know that he is considered a great poet and an alt musician. Did he finally get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I did. Not that that matters, because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a load of bollocks. It's just more. Tonight is the Oscars. Does anybody care? I don't think so. But I'll tell you what I saw last night. Tonight you belong to me. And one of the greatest songs ever. It's on Paul Stanley's solo record. Not that anyone cares, but it is. I know Drew cares. I love every single song on that record, including Well, I know that you are sleeping. I love that song. I remember my life so vividly. I remember walking around in a store called Abraham and Strauss and going to the record section and seeing all the solo records. And the first one I reached for, the first one I bought was Paul's. I got them all within short time frame, but I went home and loved that record. I love that Drooby Doo. I absolutely love that record. Happy Sunday Bash. This is Drooby Doo. Drooby Doo. Where are you? You can pull up a moon swatch today if you want to ignite fire. Pink. Oh, what's Pink Floyd? See, I'm missing stuff. Mitch Master says your Italian friend needs help. In what regard? In what regard? Philosophy? Nick, did you go down the M25 music lane? Melly C says, Drew, Paul Stanley solo. It is the best. Melly C and I are like the same people, the same watches. We love the same kind of cats, and we both think Paul Stanley solo. It's actually my favorite Kiss record is Paul Stanley's solo album. That's a fact. I could listen to that record till and move on. Wouldn't you like to know me? Love in Chains. Goodbye. Oof. I mean, it's just chock full of amazing songs, Ain't Quite Right. Amazing. It's an amazing record. But you had to be there. Like, I get it. Like, it's not worth the argument. Like, Kiss suck. Doesn't matter. Like, if you were around in Mozart's time, you'd be like, Mozart is the greatest. And people are like, no, I like Bach. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. It's just what you love. What you love that's what makes the world go round. You like Rolex and I like Omega and you like Panerai and I like Casio. It doesn't matter. Who doesn't matter? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to read that comment, Mitch, because it's just unnecessary. You're on the wrong channel then. Most of us are alcoholics. Exit Stage Left is maybe the best live album. This is Tobster McDunkey, tied with Fit. Oh, I don't fish. I don't get it, but that's okay. You do, and that's what's important. Because that's like Fisher were like the successors to the Grateful Dead's legacy, and I get it. By the way, I just watched CBS Sunday Morning. John Mayer, who's in Dead and Company, or what? I don't think there will be a Dead and Company anymore without Bob Weir. But he bought A&M Studios, well, famously Charlie Chaplin Studios, which has been the home of the Muppets for the last 20 or 30 years in Los Angeles and Hollywood. And John Mayer's doing the right thing with it. He bought it with the director, McGee, who's kind of a pop culture-y, kind of Charlie's Angels-y director. They pulled their money, they bought it, and they're making films and using it for like classic. They brought it back to its specs from the 70s to make it a great recording studio once again. And I applaud him for that. John Mayer, like, talk about a guy that, had a real big problem with alcohol and womanizing and all those things. He's a very, very smart guy. Obviously, he's a brilliant guitar player. But I used to enjoy his podcasts when he was kind of full of himself because they were amusing. But now I think that this guy has a real handle on stuff. He said so many eloquent things during this interview about, Charlie Chaplin and all the amazing films that were made there. They renamed it Chaplin Studios. It's back to its original name, and everything about it, they brought it back to the original specs, other than the A&M portion, which came later. And that, of course, was Herb Alpert and Jerry Moss from A&M Records. Incredible stuff. So Exit Stage Left is maybe the best live album of all time. It's pretty damn close. And it's a shame because All the World's a Stage, if it was recorded better, because it sounds like crap, might have taken that, because it's a great record. It's just that it just sounds bad. Exit Stage Left sounds amazing. And A Show of Hands does too. It's true. I love this. Mitch is saying, Dean, it's your choice to watch the world through a wall of wine glasses. And it's like, I mean, man, I don't know what we're up to, Be nice, man. It just it goes further. Hold the door open. I say it after every show. You know what? It doesn't hurt to be less judgy and a little kinder, because listen, I've grown up. I don't have an issue with alcohol. I'm not a big drinker. I have maybe like before we started doing the Friday night show. If I drank once a month, that was a lot. But I grew up around alcohol and alcoholics, and I have been a bartender in New York City for over 30 years. And I've gotten into situations where I've cut off people and written them letters. Some of those people passed away from it. So there are tragedies involved with alcohol and not being able to curtail it or subdue it. And I always say this to all the people I love. I always say this because I love having a glass of wine or champagne or whatever it is, your libation of choice, with your loved ones and your friends. It's a privilege. It is a privilege. So knowing where your off switch is the greatest thing you might not have it in your 20s. You might not even have it in your 30s. You should have it by the time you're in your 40s. You should know when it's time to just say, I've had enough. Because things that you don't want to say don't get said. Things that you don't want to do don't get done. You can get away with that kind of stuff in your 20s and 30s, but later on it just becomes blah. And I think, listen, I have a gang of friends that when we get together, we drink great wine and we spend time in Europe, and nobody ever gets wasted when we're there. It's funny, it happens here, but when you're over there, it just doesn't, because there's great food and great conversation and great stuff to look at, and we've all figured it out, and it's great, and I'm grateful for it. And I also don't look down my nose at people who drink too much, because listen, you know what? Everybody's got to make their own decisions, and you can offer help and you got to be very careful about it, because people get, what do you mean I drink too much? Listen, I had like 5 glasses of wine in Milan, like in 2012. I got into an argument with Paul, and I said, that'll never happen again, because it was my fault. I had 5 glasses of wine. I shouldn't have had. I should have stopped at 3 or 4. But we were having a great time and the wine was great. And I was like, you know what? Off switch forever. Never let that ever happen again. I don't want to say something I don't want to say. I don't want to do something I don't want to do. I don't want to do it. I like being in control. But people who do enjoy a cocktail, it's a great privilege, man. And and when people fuck it up, they tend to, a lot of the good percentage tend to get very preachy about it. And man, that's like, when somebody comes up to me and says, Jesus or this or that, or, I found God. Like, I know a couple of people that I used to know in the rock and roll world that, like, were pickled in cocaine, that were always out in the clubs doing blow. And now they found Jesus. And then they come and they say something that I've said on Facebook or whatever social media, and they're judgy. I'm like, dude, I didn't snort my weight in coke like you did. So do fuck off. He is who is without sin may cast the first stone. You know what? It's just, I hate it when people get preachy because it worked for you. It's like gay conversion therapy. If that works for you, knock yourself out. I don't care. Don't tell everybody else about it because you're a dick. So, kindness, kid gloves, concern, not contempt. How about that? It's better, Yeah. Eric B says, is the correct answer. Yeah, it is. It's the worst record, Hold Your Fire. Where's that really terrible song on that album? It's so bad. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but there's one it doesn't even sound like them. And I don't really like Show Don't Tell. Not Show Don't Tell. I love that song. I love Amy, man. I think there's something otherworldly special about her. She's not the greatest singer or writer. I don't know what it is. Some people just have that magic X factor. She has it. What's the name of that's the song. That was a single on there, right? Maybe it's the video where they're bouncing around. I hated it. Yeah. There you go. See, cannot argue with you. Your choice. Right, Mitch. That's exactly what it is. Don't start him off, Dirk. Oh, well, we were talking about Kiss. Who had to come in there? Just got a Kiss alert. Greetings, Dirk. Paul Stanley said, yeah, you got the Kiss alert. Cause tonight you belong to me. We did a whole show about Kiss pretty much on the show. Thanks. Yeah, Paul Stanley said it's a masterpiece. It's not a shitty song on that record, and not even Hold Me, Touch Me. It's a great song. Though I know that you are sleeping. It's an amazing song. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. The original no alert was sent false alarm. Hey, Martin Bronson are here, just back from the pub. Nice. I know because you guys are 6 hours ahead. I hope you had some great stuff and you're cuddly with the king of the forest. Mayor's a cool guy. Just yeah, something like so. Watch the. I know nobody should be watching CBS at all right now, but I do cave for CBS Sunday Morning because it's my favorite show. It's a great news hour, and that new shrew that runs that place, that unqualified hack, and the whole Skydance Paramount thing. I did cancel Paramount Plus. Then I found out I had subscribed to it in two places on Amazon Prime, so whatever. I still have it. It's a really great. I can't. It's and there's the article and then there's the extended version, which is really even better. So watch that. It's great. Yeah, he's cool. But I never got on board with him in the Jerry spot. He hasn't suffered enough. Right. You know what it's done though. I just think it's given John Mayer a lot of depth and it's given him gravitas because your body is a wonderland. Really unique singer, I have to say, from singer to singer. Wow, you hear John Mayer, instantly. It's funny though. The first time I ever heard, I want to run right out to the high school. I want to scream, but I can't even do that melody. It's a top of my lungs. The first single he ever came out with. Uh, I was like, that is such a complicated ass melody. Who is this? I thought it was Seal because it's a long time ago, 30 years ago. Um, I have a tremendous respect for him musically. He's obviously an amazing guitar player. I do not have any respect for him for leaving Fender and playing Paul Reed Smith, which are hacksaws. They're beautiful coffee tables, but they steal your soul. Even John Mayer doesn't sound like John Mayer on that guitar. It just doesn't. They sound weird. But he's a very cool, balanced guy, and he makes a statement about community and the creation of art. And he says, the pandemic and digital this and plugins, all the stuff that we can do on our own to make records. He goes, well, great. Now that we've done that, now we can collaborate again. And I am collaborating, as you guys know, with one of the Bashers, and I collaborate with my German friend, and occasionally I get to collaborate with my actual band. I like it so much more than sitting here in my room writing a song and playing all the shit myself. Because I'm not a great guitar player. I'm not a great drummer. I'm not a great bass player. But it should only be in the terms of uh, getting a demo together so the real guys can play it later on. And that's usually what I do. But like on my solo record, I wound up playing a ton of stuff. Even though I had great guitar players, I didn't play any drums because I can't play. I in my head I can play all the great drums, but I can't actually execute because I suck. You got to know also what your limits are. But I think John Mayer has really come full circle, and I dig him. I dig him as a person. I don't like the Grateful Dead. Just never did anything for me, so I don't care. But I get why you all do. And that's important. The worst thing that ever happened to him was he got dumped by a supermodel for cheating with a different supermodel. This is probably no. The worst thing that ever happened to him is he became a really bad alcoholic, and he knew he had to stop. So here's a guy that didn't press the pause button. He hit the off switch like the forever. He knows that he can't ever come back from that because it got so bad for him. So he lives a completely sober lifestyle. Some people have to know that. It takes a lot of people. Like I've read Matthew Perry's book, and he knew so knew what he needed to do and tried so hard, but it is a disease. And he was unable to do it. There's a very big difference between the disease and the casual drinker. It's a very different thing. They're not the same. 5 glasses of wine is fine, Dirk. 5 bottles may be expensive, but yeah. 5 is 5, Dino. 5 is way too. I can't do that. I can't do it. Half a bottle is great for me. Sometimes I get 3/4 in because Paul might not be home or whatever circumstances. And I would never open up a second bottle during, like, if it's just us, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. You're not going to enjoy it and all that stuff. We've talked about that a million times. Looking forward to Watches and Wonders. We all are. Me too. What will actually get the axe? The new watches being released by all brands. Yeah. I mean, this is big, big, big news. Every year, Watches and Wonders. Is the Milgauss 70th anniversary? I don't think so. I predict 75. But you never know. Rolex do whatever Rolex want. I hope Omega comes out with nothing. What would be great? Well, Omega's not releasing anything in Watches and Wonders. Obviously, they don't participate. They need to remove 90% of their catalog. They should retain 10% of their catalog. Rolex don't. I don't know. The Land Dweller, maybe a 1 year only thing. I mean, we keep thinking the Air King's going to go, but it never does. Maybe this is the year it goes. What are they going to? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. What are your predictions for Rolex? No idea. Yeah. Just want to see. You can see my chats. Yeah, I see your chats. I'm reading them all as I go. Did I miss this one? Oh yeah, yeah. I just wanted to avoid that whole topic. Yeah, I don't want it's Sunday, man. I want everybody to be nice and happy and have a good time, and then we'll get to the Gallery of Bastards and all that stuff. Yeah. Hey, Carolyn Martin, the lady with the wrench is here. Hello, beautiful lady. Ladies of the Bash. That is who she are. Hello, beautiful lady. Oh, look at you. Thank you. Ray says, yes, yes. Oh, hello, Carolyn. Let's get into the Gallery of Bastards. I got to pull that up right now.
The Gallery of Bashtards. Send me the shots that sublime me absurd. The Gallery of Bashtards. You share them with me, and I share with the world.
A world. Just getting my gallery together because I was working on my little animal speech, so I didn't have time to pull that up, but I do now. Hello, Carolyn. Thanks, Dino and Robin, just proving a point. Okay, Dirk. Yeah, no, I can read it. I just wanted to avoid that topic because, Sunday Mass, man, I don't really want to get into name calling and, I mean, listen, this is what YouTube is all about. If you like a show, watch it. If you don't like a show, don't watch it. But if you watch the show and then tell everybody how much you hate the show, what are we doing here? You have the freedom to watch whatever you want. There's a lot of shows that I love. My father-in-law, who's friendly with Neil deGrasse Tyson because they work together, he was shocked to find out that I watch his show, Star Talk, every night. He's like, I didn't know that. I was like, but I thought you did. We never got into it. I love it. And I turned him on to the show. He never even saw the show. I don't watch Bark and Jack because I think it's boring. But am I going to say that all over the place? No. I think watch channels in general have gotten extremely boring because, I don't know what I don't know anymore. What are you going to teach me now that I'm going to get shocked by? I did the homework, for the hobby. When people start talking about the market share, I don't care much, but I do care about Omega. I care about new watches being released. That's exciting. But after a while, showing a watch and then its dimensions and its lug width, it just gets tired after a while. And I'm not singling him out because he's a nice fella, and I'm not trying to be derogatory in any way. I just think that the medium is so oversaturated. The lane is so boring. That's why I don't really, get into any of that stuff. Like, for example, I was the first guy that got into the Omega boutique for the first Omega in space. I was, and I don't have the biggest presence, but I'm connected to very big presences, in the fishbowl. And that video didn't do very well. And I shot it nicely. It looked really good. And I did all the history of, Wally Schirra. And I was okay, it doesn't work for me because other people are going to go to other people for their watch chat because I'm not the be all end all. Maybe they'll go to, they should go to Tim Masso because that guy's the GOAT. I watched Tim Masso because I learned there because he's going to tell me about some crazy old Breguet or crazy old Lamagna or something that some stuff that, I never heard about, but micro brands, I don't really care. I love vintage stuff. I think down the line, my entire watch thing is going to be, 50s and 60s era, watches. I would love a Precision or another DeVille or something really cool like that. I just like them. I mean, at this, I'm happy with what I have. Certainly, I think I have the most beautiful Speedy in the world. I have my favorite. I have the Milgauss, which is my favorite of all time. I'm happy. It's like being a married man and being happy and not going, hey, check that out. That doesn't work for me very often anymore. Just really doesn't. I don't get head turned I mean, the only thing is, I will say that down the line, I'd like a vintage sub because they're just great. It's like watch. It's a watch. But that's all that is. Anyway, hey, let's get in here. Let's start in with the lady of the bash, the first lady of iBash, Carolyn Martin with Millie. Some Millie love for everybody. Oh, look at you, beautiful lady. Must have been a beautiful lady. You must have been a beautiful boy. She's got a bunch for us today. Thank you, Carolyn. She inspired me. She inspired me to bring out an old friend. Well, this Carolyn is also a guitar player, something most of you bashers don't know about. And I don't know what this is. And I'm usually pretty good at gear and guitars. I don't know what this is. It's an acoustic electric, kind of a modern-y design. I don't know what that is. I'm going to guess it's a Taylor because of the headstock and because of its build style. That's what I'm going to get. I nailed it. It's a Taylor. Yes. I did, which I don't have. I don't. Carolyn Martin should only play Martins, right? Just saying. Great charity events. Because I went backwards. Sorry. Now it makes sense. She inspired you. Sheryl Crow plays some very, very cool vintage instruments. And, she can play, man. She's cool. Took me a long time to get her, but I get her. I almost bartended. I don't know. It wasn't bartending. She was going to play this place that I fix all the audio in. Some bar on the Upper East Side. She was going to do a charity event there, but then it got a little bit celebzilla, and it got too big. And then the pandemic happened, and guess what? Didn't happen at all. But I like Sheryl Crow. I think she's great. I think she's terrific. She's terrific. You're terrific, Sheryl Crow. Eric Bell, Blue Point and Seal Point. Oh, look at this. Look at you, beautiful kids. This is what the world needs now. Oh, yeah, Dirk, I do. Dino, you're right. I do need a Seamaster 300. Sure, everybody does. Look at you, beautiful babies. Oh, great photography. Look at that lighting. It's almost like George Harrell. Beautiful. That's a Sunday show picture if I ever saw one, ever. Thanks, Mr. Bell. Thank you so much for that. Kay, exactly 1 year ago. Ready for this? This is Kay, the after the surgeries and the beginning of her family journey. Look at her snoozing on the couch, all shaved up. Look at her in her new home a year ago. Our patron saint, the beautiful Kay. We love you. We love you, love you, love you. The patron saint of iBashers, our beautiful and wonderful Kay. We couldn't love you any more than we do. And we love you, Drooby do. We love you for all that you do for Cat Kind and Andrew Kind. You're a great dad. We love you, Kay. Thank you so much. Where am I? Oh, Dino. Great. Great. Some garden pics from Dino. To watch his mastery with the foliage. Still doing a project here. Let me make this bigger. It's better. Easier for me to manipulate. Beautiful. Nice lawn. I think I asked you before, in the UK, what's the grass varietal? Like here it's called Kentucky bluegrass, which is the number, like the grass you want. What's it called in the UK? I think I asked you the last time, but maybe you didn't hear me, or maybe I didn't see it. This is a nice fit place to hang out for the summer months, isn't it? Beautiful. Is this your gaff? I'm just wondering. That would be amazing. I hope it is because it's gorgeous. I like your pergola. That's some pergola, baby. Beautiful, Dino. Great lawn work. It's nothing like a great lawn. Thank you, Dino. More money for the watch fund. New garden. Oh, new little garden pickup. Oh, okay. It's not yours. He explained it. Great. Thank you, kind sir. Thank you, Dino. Great. And then from Phil. What do we got from you, Phil? Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I got to read this a little bit first to make sure. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Okay, some pictures. This is not crumpling. This is from Phil. So let me see. I hope you're back. Okay, get that. Okay. Who are these pictures? Oh, it is Crumpet and Pixel. I was like worried because it seemed like an amalgam of emails together. And that Google sometimes does that, the Crumpet and Pixel Show. Oh, hello, babies. Oh, it is the Crumpet and Pixel Show. Hello, Crumpet. Hello, Pixel. What a baby. Ooh, Bubbles eating. I'm so grateful. Bubbles has like not been eating very well since he got back from the hospital, but he's eating now. And that makes me so happy. I put churros in there and I put this really stinky food from Veruva. They said it's the stinkiest. Look at you guys. We love the Crumpet and Pixel Show. Thanks, Phil. Thank you for that so much. We need more Crumpet and Pixel on the show. Weekend, Mr. Brooker. Uh-oh, she's from Pelagos there. Mr. Brooker with the Pelagos. Having a drive to the dive. Driving and diving and slicing. Oh, to the Pink Floyd show. Okay, you're not going to the dive. This track, oh, look at this. It's called Meerkats. Oh, 3 different kinds, right? Oh. Supposed to be like animals, piggies. Look at that. Playing the right guitar. Cool. Now that's what Sunday Mass is all about. It's all about. Hello, beautiful one. Yeah, that's all we care. Pink Floyd's fine. Pink Floyd cover band's fine. But I love what David Gilmour said on his birthday about the solo from Comfortably Numb. Rick Beato asked him why he never plays it the same way twice. He goes, why should I? Everybody else does. Oh, that's amazing. Great shots, man. Thank you so much. Thanks, Mr. Brooker. Mr. Brooker. I hope you had fun at that show. Uh-oh. Gallery Dirk's hate with a passion sweet potatoes. Okay. Yeah, I don't like sweet potatoes. So this is from the incomparable Becky Brown. Becky Brown, you got a lovely. Look at that. So she made sweet potatoes, which I don't like. I am not a fan of the sweet potato. I think they're gross. Don't like them. And I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know. I like a real potato. But look what she's drinking. How about this? Ready for this? She's drinking the Marquette de Riscal Reserva 2020. And I've got my neighbor who's from Spain, and they turned me on to all this great stuff. And I've not seen this particular version, and it looks great. I'd like to get a hold of a bottle of that. Dirk's, I hate it with a passion, caramelized sweet potatoes. If you like sweet potatoes, knock yourself out. And you can take a screenshot of that recipe. Not my thing. Don't like sweet potatoes. I just don't get them. I don't like sweet vegetables. Is that wrong? I just don't like it. Hey, Dave Fitzsimons. Yeah, oh, right. You guys finally hit the daylight savings time. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. I didn't even think about that. Thank you, Becky Brown, the incomparable one. Ladies and gentlemen, a gallery from the one and only Sir Julian. Should we get a little music to go with this? Something nice and light and wonderful. Let's see. What do I have? I got to get some classic. I'm going to get Julian. Next time you give me a gallery, I'll have classic. Beautiful, though. This is glass, I believe. We're looking through a floor. This is when Julian does his crazy illusions with glass and color. And he actually sat around and had conversations with Karsh. I mean, of course he knew him because that's Julian. Of course he did. Now, those things on the edges of the windows, I think I've asked you about them. Is that like a defrosty thing to keep windows clear? I find it fascinating. Oh, yeah. Winter's light. Nobody loves diamond plate more than me and my band. We used it ad nauseum. It's fair. Look at the color on that thing. That is beautiful. British Telecom, BT. I'm gorgeous. Julian, did Karsh ever, you guys ever talk about your work? I'm sure you talked about his because, you know, people have egos. Did you ever get to discuss your work with him? Oh, I love this one. Almost looks like a pulpit. Look at that design. That is gorgeous. I love interlocking circles. Big fan of that. Julian. Magical. Look at that. What is going on here? How in the world can that even be possible? It's miraculous. Oof. A mosaic of some kind, a portion of it, like a puzzle, and a beam of light. And purple, Melly C, so purple. That's a portrait for Melly C if I ever saw one. Oof. Now, I think you had a different image of this thing. Now, what did I ask you if that was like a sundial? Oh, this is the Greenwich Mean Time, right? That's right. I learn new things on this show every day. You guys are all so smart. Incomparable. I'd love to see that. I've never been there. I've never been to Stonehenge either. I've never been to Wales. I've never been to Scotland. I've been to London 800 times. Beautiful. The incomparable works of our very own Sir Julian Huxley. Beautiful, Julian. Thank you. Beautiful stuff. Thank you, kind sir. What is the world without art? Merely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Melly C. Happy Sunday. It's time for something. We're going to do the jazz for you because I know you're watching. So it's going to be jazz. Okay? It's going to be jazz. None of that horrible rock and roll music. Madness. Look at Mork for president. Oh, that's a great shot. Yeah, 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 yeah. Gotta make that longer. Look at that. That looks so much like my Glaucus, Melly. I mean, well, they're so similar. He looks so much like that, except he had a black nose, but markings are identical. Look at the beautiful Mork, Carolyn's lover. I'm in the madness, smoking in the madness. Oh, beautiful profile. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you so much. Eminem Madness, guys. What would Sunday Mass be without it? Thank you so much. Thank you. And that, oh, I got more. We got more. Ray Ray. No subject. Oh, we got some great donkeys in there, which all have names, I'm sure, because that's how Raphael rolls it. Look at you. Where are you guys going? To the pub. That's a great shot, Ray Ray. Really great. Not gonna tell Dean today. Hey, Dino approved 100%. Dino approved 100%. First of all, can we talk about how great that jacket is? Yeah. Well, I think Dino thinks that watch is just fine. Amazing. Look at that. Remember that? That was an incredible gift from Heather. Absolutely, because that's okay, Drew. Yeah, Panda Daytona. That's pretty great. Hello. It's raining Rolex. Hallelujah. That, my friends, is the Gallery of Bastards. Thank you so much for today's show.
The Gallery of Bashtards. Send me the shots, the sublime leaders of words. The Gallery of Bashtards. You share them with me, and I share with the world.
Carolyn Martin, late entry, her boy Bobo. I just want to make sure I get this in there because this is her Bobo, and he's beautiful, baby. Having a Sunday with his mommy. Beautiful Bo. Thank you so much. Let's hit the comments. Hey, roar of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Dirk, the other day, you and Asheen agreed that the one and only Grace Kelly was the most beautiful ever in cinema. Gentlemen, I respectfully okay, well, that's fine. Okay. Well, listen. Catherine Deneuve, I mean, The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. Wow. Yes, I think Catherine Deneuve. Catherine Deneuve is not classic Hollywood, though. She's post, she's 60s, late 50s, early 60s. Catherine Deneuve, one of the great beauties of all time. 100% correct. True. I think Grace Kelly in the heyday was, if not the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful. I mean, there's so many great, beautiful ladies of the day. Even the ones like, I love Barbara Stanwyck. Is she a great beauty? No, but she's beautiful. You got Hedy Lamar's, and you have so many different amazing, like a million of them. But she was pretty special, Grace Kelly. Audrey Hepburn, one of the greatest of all time. So I think Catherine Deneuve of her, listen. No one's going to argue about Catherine Deneuve ever. She's one of the most beautiful women that has ever existed, period. But thank you, roar of the tiger. No one's ever going to argue with you about that. Dirk, I could write a book on grass seed. How boring, right? Fescue, ryegrass, cool season, Bermuda, zoysia for hot climates, ryegrass, fast germinating, luxury lawn. It goes on. I'm sure it does. Wow, Julian. Everybody's knocked off. Hey, Space Ace. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Great to have you here. Great to see you. I haven't seen you in so while. You're off on Jandel doing your thing, right? Carolyn Martin says, I would spend the evening talking grass with you. I find the topic. See, she finds it interesting. Come on, Julian, your brilliance needs to be shared with the world. That means get a website or something. I can help you with that. We all can, because you don't want to do the show. Apparently, you can purchase a Karsh filter on Snapchat. Is that right? How interesting. Dave Fitzsimons, hey, Carolyn and Dino. That would be a first for Mastermind, and your specialist subject is grass. He does not, Space Ace, but we're working on it. Carolyn, I used to prefer smoking grass back in the day. Dino says, Drew, I just nearly switched the power to the lights to the house. Fucking plastic. Bobo, beautiful watch, Carolyn Martin. And Dino says, what happened to Mitch Master? I thought I could have a drinking contest with him. Damn. Yeah, maybe he can come on a Friday night and say that to Machine's face if he wants to. But, that's not what I do here. That's not what I do. Don't do that on my show. And I'm not going to engage in it. It's not necessary. It's just not necessary. And if you have something to say it to somebody's face. Don't talk behind people's back. It's not nice. Guys, that's my Sunday Mass. I got to get rocking for my nephew's birthday. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me on this incomparable Sunday Mass. You guys, it's always a great show. Remember, I always say, I don't do this on Sunday, but listen, there's a bunch of charities, and I'll come up with them this week that I found out. Forget about me for Sunday Mass. There's some instances in Gaza and Ukraine and in the Middle East of animals that need help. And if you want to give them a couple of shekels, they're out there, and you could just Google them. There were so many, I couldn't get the links fast enough for the show, but I will do that maybe for Tuesday. But thank you all so much. Go in peace to love and serve the best. In nomine Padre, e Filii, e Spiritu Sancti. All the love and light to you guys on Sunday Bash. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Where's my theme song?
Sweet hymn, it lifts us high and pray all the days our hearts desire. It's our silence.